Yeah. Hello, YouTube. Beanie from the bedroom here. A little verklempt. Your guitar junkie. Untether, my man, and show what we have here. Well, what we have here is a guitar that completely, I had no words. It shocked the snot right out of me. So, let's rewind. I had said a while back that I'm never going to buy another guitar on Amazon. So, while I'm thinking about it, let me mic up so you could hear me. All you gotta do is plug it in, plug it in. Am I coming in clear? All right. So, I said I'd never buy another guitar off of Amazon because of the trials and tribulations I went through with I don't know how many guitars. I don't even want to mention how many guitars. So I ate those words when I bought yet another IYV because I never really had a problem with any IYV that I ever purchased off of Amazon. I had problems with other brands. Let's just not mention them at this time. So when the IYV 300 jazz guitar came up, and it looked stunning, a little bit better than the first two that I had. And when I received it, of course, it looked just as beautiful, if not better, in person. Sounded, played amazingly. Uh, so, fast forward to about a week ago, let's just say this week. Everyone knows I purchased this here Epiphone. And what I liked about it mainly is that it had an ebony fingerboard on an LP guitar. Now, I've mentioned before that I had a limited edition, a very rare custom shop 57 Les Paul that had an ebony fingerboard. I just didn't like it had a triple A or 4A top, and I just didn't like the look of it, and it needed a fret shop. Then I went with the Sire from Larry Carlton brand, which was a really nice guitar. It was so pretty. Like my Paul Reed Smith that I had, that was like a $4,000 or $5,000 guitar. I was afraid to play it, and I didn't like the sound of the pickups. They were too jazzy, too warm and soft. So I went with the Epiphone, and I've done a couple of videos on it, and you may have seen one or two so far, but believe me, I have a couple more that I'm just holding on to. And because I have a lot of videos that I don't want to pump one out, one a day, two a day. I just want to wait because sometimes I hit a dry spell. So I like to have something at least once, twice a week. I was on Amazon and I forget what I was looking for. I think I was looking for the oil for the guitar. And every day when I go on, I check what I have saved in my shopping cart just to see if there's a sale, if the price goes down, which it does happen. Then after that, I check my browsing history of everything that I've ever looked at, and every guitar I've ever looked at, even if, it's sold, I still look at it just to see if it's going to come back up. And then I look to see if it's going to go on sale for whatever reason, because I've seen that happen. I've seen guitars go on sale and you can get them for $50, $75 off of what they normally sell for, which is great. So that's why I do it. So this one popped up like this, and believe me, the picture doesn't look anything like the guitar. And I'm going to say that straight away, but in a good way. The picture that they were showing for this guitar, it really looked cheesy on the front. It looked like a red kind of glitter. I can't compare it. Almost like the Ace Frehley blue and silver glitter guitar. Almost that kind of glitter. And I was like, oh, okay. But it's got an ebony fingerboard. $179. What is it? Leo Jams, right? So I said to myself, I had a Leo Jams. I think I had two. I think one was a Telecaster that was gorgeous. It had a flame maple neck and rounded jumbo finger frets that were polished. It was just a beautiful guitar, but it had single coils, and I'm more like a humbucker. I like humbuggies on my guitars. So when I saw this one, I'm like, oh, Leo Jams. So I tried to find videos on said guitar. Couldn't find any. I found them on different guitars. Mostly they're Telecaster guitars. One or two maybe on their LPs, but not this particular one with an ebony fingerboard. So I figured, well, you know what? I've got credit on my Amazon account from returning other stuff. What the heck? What's another guitar if I just order it, don't like it, and ship it back? And normally what I do is I ship it back the same day. Most of the times I don't even post a video on it because I don't want to ruin the reputation of that company because I don't like it for whatever reason. Unless there are serious reasons why the guitar is a piece of junk, like I mentioned on my Stephen Brown sound guitar from Guitar Fetish. I went on, and I still hear a bunch of crap about that. People still leaving comments. What do you expect for $379? Well, this was $179, and I expect the same amount, no matter what I pay. I expect a good quality instrument. So on this one here, the only thing that I have that I could nitpick on is the binding here has a little bit of a bleed right there. Right there. Just a little bit of a bleed. Okay, right there. And it's got, looks like compound because it was a lot worse, but you could see it's white here and it's white down here, and here. And I've been taking my rag and trying to wipe it off, and I'm getting it off. It's not easy with the strings on. These aren't anything special. They look like the cheapest strings you could put on a guitar. So I'm definitely going to restring it. I'm definitely going to get, because these look like Grover tuners, I'm going to get the locking Geiger tuners that look like this, that I also put on my Harley Benton SG type guitar, double cut. And then at that time, I'll be able to clean up the fingerboard. But for a guitar, $179 with an ebony fingerboard, it looks like a plastic nut. However, it could be plastic. It doesn't look like plastic as far as it being a bright white plastic. It's got like a yellow tinge to it. And I'm not sure what I read on what the nut is, if it's a bone nut, if it's a Graphtec nut. But it doesn't look like it's a true solid white plastic nut on there, which surprisingly enough, it stays in tune. It was, all the strings were loose. All I had to do was tune it. The action is spectacular. There's no fret buzz, no fret sprout, no sharp edges. I've been up and down the neck. I've got no buzzing, and the intonation was spot on. So yeah, I'm blown away by that. The fact that the body, this is a Tiger Maple veneer top. So that's definitely a veneer top on here. Now, to go even further, these pickups, whatever they are, they sound pretty good. They don't sound like a Tesla pickup. They're not great, but they're not bad either for a $179 guitar. Volume and tones work. The thing is that with the in the middle position, you hear that when I turn the volume knob on both, it kind of, you hear it? So with that, I had to look right away at the electronics. I'll get to that in a sec. The second thing I have to mention is, look how thin this guitar is. I didn't know that at the time. This is as thin as my Harley Benton with the Floyd Rose. This is as thin as the Black Burst Maple Latitude LP that I had. That's how thin. There's the jack. It's a plastic cover with a metal jack, and it barely has enough room to fit on the body. It's right under the border, the binding, and just about gives you enough room. So this is about half the size of a regular LP. So that impresses me because of how thin it is. The weight, I'm happy about. The veneer top looks great. This red burst that goes around here looks just as good as my Epiphone. And when I flip it over, it's got a belly cut. Look, it's got a beveled, a contoured belly cut in this slim body. Wow. 3-piece mahogany body, just like the Epiphone. 2-piece mahogany neck, like the Epiphone. You can see right here is the scarf, where it's glued to the neck, right there. Not right here like the Epiphone, but right here. So, yeah, still impressed. Now, where it kind of, you get what you pay for kind of thing, which people are going to say, is the covers are not shielded, either one. The cavities are not shielded, either one. You can see that they accidentally made a hole here by mistake. So it's got 2 holes side by side. It's got the cheesiest 3-way toggle switch that I've ever seen inside there, but it works. And it's got dime size pots, volume and tone pots, you can see. Dime size. The wiring job and the soldering job looks pretty good. There's nothing holding all the wires together because each wire is going on its separate path. So it's not like they had an extra amount of wire that they just wrapped up. I guess they measure the wire for every job and just to watch pennies. But that's the only thing that, if I'm going to say, hey, look at this here. This is what you get for a $179 guitar. I'm not complaining. I'm just pointing that out, that it's not shielded, and you've got dime-sized pots, which I could change. They're like $9 a piece for a 500K pot. And even when I've asked technicians about the toggle switches, when I asked about should I replace it, their question is, does it work? If it works, leave it alone. So same thing with the pots. The pots work. I'm not getting any feedback. I did have this maxed out and tried to speak through the pickups to see if they're microphonic. They're not. So, it's got a lot going for it. So this is the Leo Jams, or James, the J and the MZ. I don't want to mispronounce it, and then have someone yelling at me in comments, which I've been getting a lot of. Thanks to Two Bike Mike, he just said just delete delete the negativity. And he's right, because as soon as I see something, I leave a nasty reply, and then I read it and I feel good about it, and then I delete it just to get it off my chest. And then I had to say very politely, sorry you feel that way. Or if they're that much of an ass, I just delete them. And then when they come back on and say something else, I know that they're trolling me. And then I just make it that it's muted or whatever it was, so they can't leave any more comments. But yeah, blown away by this guitar. So the beveled belly cut here, it's it seems like it should be up here more, but it kind of works. It looks cool. Man, I don't know what else to say. So you heard it. $479, I have to say. And the picture that I saw, this looked like it was sharper. The horn looked like it was as sharp as the one on my vintage. So I'm pleased to see that it's not a sharp horn. It's a nice round horn, because that really resembles an LP to me. If you're gonna copy a Les Paul guitar, let's do it right. And the fact that the body is so thin, when you come down here to get to the high, you're not having a thicker block of wood that you're slamming your hand into. This is like a thin 60s neck on here. I would say it's a D-shaped neck. But when I'm coming down, I fit right there to get to those frets. And I contribute that to the fact that this is a thinner body. So yeah, super cool, super neat, super nice. And that's all I got to say about that. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a good day.